Hey guys, welcome to eBike Reviews and Adventures. Today we are talking about helmets, and we're going to talk about safety, and we're going to talk about safety standards just a little bit. So let's get into it. First of all, I know there's a lot of tough guys out there that say, I don't need a stinking helmet. Well, that's fine. That's your choice. And you know what? There are some places around the United States that you don't have a choice. The law tells you you have to wear a helmet no matter how tough you are. Here in Florida, I'm lucky that I have the choice to whether I wear a helmet or not. I choose to wear a helmet in most all circumstances. If I'm just doing a quick little test ride in front of my home, running down the street, I don't always throw on a helmet just to do that because I'm right here in close proximity of my home. I'm not going far, I'm not going fast. But anytime I leave my general area where I know I'm going to be traveling further out, I'm going to be gone for a little while, and I'm going to be at higher speeds, then I definitely wear a helmet. I encourage you to do the same. Now, having said all that, not any helmet will do. There are different safety standards for different types of sports activities, and so please understand that. You can't just run down to your local department store and grab a helmet off the shelf and thinking you're good to go. Because for all of you who are riding e-bikes, e-bikes are heavier, they go much faster, and they require different safety standards. So the helmets that we're going to be looking at today were all found on Amazon. And I'm going to tell you that they don't meet the safety standards that I wish they would meet. And what I'm talking about is all of these helmets here are considered cycling helmets, which you might think, hey, that's great, they're cycling helmets. But they're not the same as an e-bike helmet. And that's where the difference lies. So there's a couple different safety standards. And when you're shopping for a helmet, you'll see different stickers, different markings, and just a couple of them to watch out for is if you find one that's marked CPSC, it's the Consumer Product Safety Commission. That means here in the United States, they've labeled that helmet as meeting the standard for cycling. Now, cycling means that it goes up to 15 miles per hour. That's not the same as an e-bike that can go up to 28 miles per hour, which is going to have a much bigger and stronger impact in the event of a crash. Now, there's another label you might find that is labeled EN 1078, and all that is that's a European standard. It's basically the same thing, telling you that it is a cycling helmet that is rated up to 15 miles per hour. Now, there is a higher standard. It's ASTM F1952, and what it is that's a standard for mountain biking, where you're going down hills, you're doing jumps and that sort of thing, and it is certainly a higher standard, but it's still not the same as an e-bike standard, which is you're going 28 miles per hour. I'm trying to drive that point home to you. There is a standard for e-bikes. However, this standard is relatively new. It was developed by the Dutch, and it's called NTA 8776. And a lot of manufacturers have now adopted that standard, and they're just now starting, to make helmets for e-bikes that have that particular standard. But the problem is there's not too many of them out on the marketplace just yet. So as you're searching and you're looking for an e-bike rated helmet, you're going to be kind of limited. And that's just because the industry hasn't caught up to the explosive growth that e-bikes have had over the last several years. So there is something else you can look for that'll offer you some really good protection. It's not e-bike rated, but it's still really good protection. And that is a helmet that is designed with MIPS, M-I-P-S. And that stands for Multi-Directional Impact Protection System. And what it is it's a plastic liner on the inside of the helmet. And that liner is what's strapped to your head. And in the event of an impact, that liner will shift a little bit and allow it to rotate a little bit so that your helmet will rotate on your head without it slinging your head and causing brain damage. So it's just a system designed to help absorb the impact when you do smack your head on something. So, that's a newer technology. There's a lot of manufacturers that are starting to adopt that now, and those are readily available. You can look for them everywhere. So if you happen to have a helmet that does not have the MIPS system in it, then I encourage you to maybe upgrade your helmet to at least that standard. Now let's just go ahead and jump in and take a look at the helmets that I have here. As mentioned, none of these helmets here are e-bike rated, but it's the next best thing. 4 of these helmets here have the MIPS system installed, so I'll be able to show you that. And then 2 of them, they don't have MIPS at all, and I'll explain that in just a moment. So we're going to start with this one over here. This is, until recently, this was my daily use helmet here. This is my first helmet that I purchased that I kept. I purchased a couple, didn't like them, sent them back, found this one, loved it. And I have a large head, so I was looking for a helmet that was a large size. And this one fits comfortably, and I really like it. Now, before we go any further, let's talk about sizing real quick, because it's important that you get a helmet that fits properly. It's important that you get a helmet that is comfortable, because if you have a properly fitting helmet that's comfortable, you're more likely to wear it, especially the long distances that we travel on e-bikes. Now, while we're talking about sizing, be aware that across manufacturers and across different helmet lines, the sizing could be different. So in one particular helmet, you might need a large, but another particular helmet, you might need a medium. So make sure you know the size that you need, and all you do is measure the distance around your head, right around this direction here, and convert that to centimeters. You can go on Google and convert from inches to centimeters to find out what the centimeters is around your noggin, and then go and make sure you check the sizing chart for each helmet that you're considering making a purchase of and buy the right size for you. So this helmet here, as I was mentioning, this is made by Smith, and this is a very comfortable helmet. I really like this helmet. Other than when I purchased it online, I didn't notice that it was this shiny. The pictures just didn't make it look like it was so reflective, but I mean, I can use this as a mirror and look at myself, and I don't care for that so much. I prefer more of the matte look on helmets, but you know, I still kept it because I purchased it. It was comfortable, and they didn't have anything in matte. And I tell you what, so the inside here is comfortable. They got, you know, the padding where you would expect all the padding to be. It does have this quick adjustment knob right here that allows you to tighten up this inner harness. We'll just call it harness right here, so it tightens down on your head. And it does have the MIPS system, which is part of this right here. It's part of this inner plastic shell that goes all around on the inside of this helmet. And that allows the whole helmet to shift and move when this part is strapped to your head, okay? So that's where the MIPS comes in. I like this helmet because the straps are long enough. It provides good coverage around my noggin. And like I said, most importantly, it's comfortable, and I really like that. Next, I was looking at another helmet also made by Smith, and this is going to be my new go-to helmet. Now, I'll just share that with you right here. In fact, I haven't even taken the label off of it, but I've already made the decision that this is the one that I will start wearing. It also has the MIPS system. The straps are real nice, you know, nice and long for my large noggin. It has all the padding that you would expect to find inside a helmet here. And of course the MIPS system that allows it to shift and rotate on your noggin as necessary, and the quick adjustment knob. But most importantly, when wearing it, it just feels nice on my head. I don't feel any particular pressure points anywhere around on my skull, which I do with some of the other helmets. That's why it's important to find a helmet that fits properly and is comfortable, because you don't want to be wearing a helmet and have a pressure point where you feel it digging into your skull, because you're not going to want to wear it. I like this helmet because it does have this little visor here on the front, and this particular visor, you can rotate it up and get it out of the way if necessary. You know, that particular feature isn't as important to me, but you know, it's nice that it's there. I do like the nice matte color. I like the fact that it has plenty of vents to get the airflow moving through the helmet, because I am in Florida where it's hot. And again, overall, I'm just been real happy with the Smith line of helmets for their comfort. Next, we have a helmet here by Gyro, and this one is the Gyro Fixture. And you know, I'm quite disappointed with this one because the straps are really super short, and that's the first thing I want to just bring to your attention. You can adjust the straps. They're in the helmet here. You do have this adjustment knob back here, and it's adjusted all the way out. But these straps are like for a child. They just don't come close to coming around my chin, and this is considered a large helmet. So if these straps were about 3 inches longer, it's fairly comfortable on my head. It does have pretty decent padding on the inside, not quite as much as the Smith helmets, but it's okay. It's still comfortable on my head. I haven't noticed really any significant pressure points or anything. It does have the MIPS system, so it does allow it to move and rotate on your head. So that's a nice feature. I do like the color, that it's a matte color. I like the fact that they have this visor here. The visor is removable, but it doesn't rotate and move up out of the way. It's kind of fixed there, or you have to remove it completely. Now, another helmet by Gyro. I hope I'm saying that right, Gyro. You know, I really like the styling of this helmet, and you know, I just like the color scheme and the overall styling of it. But the problem with this helmet is it's a little short. Okay, it stays high on the head, and it just doesn't provide the protection or the coverage that I would expect out of a helmet. Other than that, this particular one does have good padding. It's better than the padding on this one here. And the straps are long enough, which is nice. And you know, it does have the MIPS system. You can easily, quickly adjust for your noggin. I like that, you know, it does have this small visor here that, well, that wasn't supposed to happen. It does have this small visor here that comes off relatively easy, apparently. How does that come off? What did we do? Well, that's silly. Okay, so hey, maybe that's a good thing. It has a visor that is real quick and easy to snap off. You just kind of latch it onto that vent right there, and that's all you do is just stick it onto that vent, and it's there. So that's kind of nice. Let's see. Yeah, so that's about it. So these straps here are also, I don't remember. I think these straps are kind of short, actually. And this is considered this is an extra large. So with this being an extra large, this one isn't nearly as comfortable on the head. The straps are a little tight. I can get it on. Okay, if my head was a little bit bigger, it wouldn't fit at all. But this one is not nearly as comfortable. I can feel the pressure points on different parts of my skull, and it's just got to do with the overall shape. It just doesn't fit me too well. It might fit some of you perfectly fine. You got to remember that. Everyone's got, the head is a little different, right? So what works for one may not necessarily work for someone else. Now, these last two do not have the MIPS system, but here's why they're on my list. They're not on my list to buy. Okay, I'm not recommending them. But the reason we're reviewing and talking about them is because this one came free. This came from a Mach Wheel as part of an accessory package when I purchased the Mach Wheel Basalt and also the Mach Wheel Scoria. And for being a free accessory from a manufacturer, it's actually a pretty decent helmet. This one is actually pretty comfortable too, kind of like the Smith helmet. It was impressively comfortable. It's got really good padding. It's nice and thick all around, so I like that. It's got the adjustment knob here, so you can easily adjust. It does not have the MIPS system, okay, and that's that extra level of protection that I want, and it's the extra level of protection you should want. So it doesn't have the MIPS. You know, it does have this cutesy little light right here on the back. You know, not a fan. Never use it. Wouldn't use it if I was wearing this. The sticker on the inside of this helmet does say it meets Canadian and European standards. It doesn't say anything about meeting you know, standards here in the United States, so I can't really talk to that too much. The straps are nice and long, and I do like that they have extra padding right here at the end, and that's where you can roll up any extra strap so it's not floating, flopping around in your face, and it's extra padded for underneath your chin. So that's a nice feature. I do like that. Overall, the shape is pretty good. It does not have a removable visor, but it's got one built in here a little bit. It does have some reflective tape on it, which is could be good. And overall, like I said, it's a pretty decent helmet. So if you are getting a free helmet with your bike purchase, this is not something to complain about. It just doesn't necessarily meet the safety standards, but it's comfortable and it's going to offer you some protection. And the last helmet we're talking about is, this one is made by JBM. And, you know, I originally purchased this because I thought, you know, that's pretty cool looking. I really like all the vents, so it's going to give good airflow. I like the color, didn't mind it. It's a little shiny, but didn't mind it at all. It's got this visor here. This one doesn't remove as easily, but it does remove. It does have the quick adjustment knob right back here. It does have some pretty good padding. The padding is pretty thick, you know, a lot thicker than the Gyro right here. The straps are a little more adjustable. This strap is a little different than the rest, and that's, you know, kind of cool. It does have this extra padding right here. The clips are, you know, just plastic like all of them, but that's okay. Again, it does not have the MIPS system. And this one fits okay. It's a little short. I wished it would ride a little bit lower on my head. Kind of like these, because they're a little more bubbly, so they sit a little bit lower on the head. which I appreciate and I think offers more protection. But overall, I mean, this isn't terrible. It does have the CPSC, the Consumer Product Safety Commission label on it, so it does meet U.S. standards, just nothing close to an e-bike standard. So these are the helmets that I have right now, and you know, I got a couple of them to test because I was looking for something new, and I just don't like them, and I'm sending them back. And that is the two Gyros right here. Those are going back. The JBM we actually used, so we're keeping that one. This one we got for free, so we'll certainly keep that one. This was my first helmet, so I'll keep that one. This is my new helmet that I'll be moving forward with. And again, this is the Smith. It's called Engage. And I believe I got this on sale for about $70, if I'm not mistaken. Normally, I think it's about $130. So, you know, you can go down to your department store and buy a helmet that is, you know, $20, $25 off the shelf, and it's going to offer you some protection. But for me, you know, I don't want to risk it. If I'm going to spend, you know, $2,000 on an e-bike, I'm going to spend at least $100 to get a good quality helmet that has some certifications to it. And I hope you do the same. Hey, I'm going to have links to all of these down below, so you can go check them out for yourself, read about them. Again, just remember, at the very least, get something that has MIPS, M-I-P-S. The better would be to find one that is e-bike rated with that 1078 certification on it. But hey, that's it. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below, and I'll get back to you. And until my next video drops, ride safe.